What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more r/am I the butthole. If you want to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too, as it really helps out our channel. And don't forget you can follow us on podcast too now, so you can take us with you wherever you go, and you can even join the channel through YouTube membership or head on over to Patreon with different levels and tiers and things like that. And with that being said, let's get straight in to today's stories. Much love, guys. This story is from Throwdad224. Am I the arsehole for telling my wife's friend she is too old and ugly after she repeatedly asked my 19-year-old son to take off his shirt? He was getting uncomfortable. My family had a small get together at my house. One of my wife's friends was over. She is unmarried and I think she is 45 to 47. We aren't too close to her since she lives pretty far away. She was over our house and she started complimenting my son. My son is 19. It starts off innocent, but as time goes on, it gets more and more crossing the line. When we're out on my deck, she starts telling my son to take his shirt off. What's the point in going to the gym if no one will see it? My son is visibly uncomfortable and tries to shut her down. She repeatedly is asking and is getting more aggressive with it. I interject and I am like, hey Kathy, I think you're a bit too old and ugly for my son. This got her upset really quickly and she excuses herself to the bathroom and starts crying. My wife goes to comfort her and then later she leaves. At the end of it, my wife is super angry with me for saying that I should have said, hey Kathy, looks like you had too much to drink or something else. I told my wife that Kathy, by the way this is not her real name, works a corporate job. She has had training on this and she knows better. And our son was uncomfortable. He is 18 plus, but he doesn't know how to deal with an adult to adult, let alone someone saying that in our house. I told my wife flat out that if I was to invite a guy friend and he was to ask to see our daughter in a bikini, my wife would have called the police. She says it's different. I tell her that I was way kinder to Kathy than I would have been had a guy said something like that to our daughter. And I told my wife that Kathy needs to apologise to my son before she can ever come into our house again. Overall, I think I was fair. If Kathy just said it once and I said I think I would have been the arsehole, but the fact that she kept repeating it, that's why I said it. And I wanted her to get the message that yes, I am upset. That's why I included the ugly part. Oh, in my opinion, I think Kathy definitely needed to be called out in this situation, but the way he goes about it I think is a bit wrong. I don't think you should say, hey Kathy, you're old and ugly. I don't think that really helps matters either, you know. And I'm definitely getting a hint of double standards from your wife at the same time, which is not great either. So I'm going to go with a verdict that everyone sucks here. Shoot me down if you want to, but I'm sticking with that. And let's go to the comments below to see what we can find. The real Bill Steele says, not the arsehole, double standard no more. I wouldn't let her around my boy anymore. I'd be livid if her husband's friend was telling my daughter the same type of things. Gaps9 replies to this and saying, and why is insulting her looks and age the appropriate thing instead of telling her off for sexual harassment and kicking her out? The real Bill Steele replies, no one is interested in being nice to a pervert. Scent1234 says, but by saying that behaviour is unwelcome because of her age and perceived attractiveness, her behaviour isn't being described as perverted, but instead as simply out of her league. It's explicitly saying that if she were younger and hotter, it would be fine. It's explicitly saying that either the son is uncomfortable because she's not hot enough, or that the son's discomfort wouldn't matter if she were hotter. South Park, nice JPEG, and all that. Far better to call out a behaviour as is, rather than resorting to ad hominems or justifications. Kathy, stop sexually harassing my son or leave. Same response as if she were a 19-year-old supermodel that the son simply wasn't into. Neo Bourgeois says, I'm going with not the arsehole. It would have probably been better to say sternly, Kathy, that's enough, stop it or leave my house, and leaving her parents out of it. However, your comments were in the context of her sexually harassing your barely legal child who is less than half her age, and I'm having a hard time sustaining any outrage because you were a little snarky, slapping down her exploitive and inappropriate behaviour. Your wife is wrong. It is not better because she is a woman and your son is a man. Sexual harassment and preying on the fact that younger people often don't have experience shutting down inappropriate advances, particularly from someone connected to their parents or authority adjacent position, is always wrong. The gender of the perpetrator and victim are irrelevant, and if she has a tendency to behave in a sexually appropriate and aggressive manner when drinking, then she should never drink. George Jefferson 19 says, I really want to say everyone sucks here. I don't think that saying, hey Kathy, you're old and ugly lol, is the best way to go about this. What would you have said if she was 30 years old and beautiful? A better way of handling it would have been to say something like, Kathy, your behaviour is crossing the line and needs to stop immediately. If you don't stop, then you will need to leave. A firm statement like that will get the point across just as well, without hurting anyone, and shows your son how to handle conflict like an adult. Wow, what do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. This story is from Am I the Arsehole, Truth or Dare? Am I the arsehole for kissing my friend's brother without his consent during a truth or dare? Yesterday I was supposed to spend the night at my friend's house with some of my classmates, and we were playing truth or dare. There really is no reason for us to choose truth, since we already know a lot about each other, so we mostly went with just dares. It was pretty fun and we had some weird challenges. I was staying next to my friend's brother, and when it was my turn, a classmate challenged me to kiss him. His sister immediately told my friend to change the dare, and so she did. To be clear, a brother didn't say anything when he heard the dare, and just laughed, so he definitely looked like he was okay with it, right? Well, wrong, because after I kissed him, he told me what the fuck am I doing, and looked like he was really grossed out by it. I was honestly a bit offended and asked him why he's so grossed out by me kissing him. I am actually a pretty okay looking girl, and even if I wasn't, there was no reason for him to act like this. He ended up leaving the game. My friend told me what I did was wrong on so many levels, and to get out of her house. My other classmates didn't say anything, so I think they were on my side, but didn't want to participate in this argument. We'll ask them when they go back home. Anyways, I did end up on leaving. Do you guys think I was the arsehole here? Soon as I read the title on this one, I was like, yes, you're the arsehole. If you didn't get consent, it makes you the arsehole instantly. Gee whiz. Imagine if someone done that to you. Imagine if you were sat there and some random person walked up to you and just kissed you. How would you feel about that? Did you agree to it? If you didn't consent to it, it makes them the arsehole. So in this case, it makes you the arsehole. Let's go down into the comments below to see what we can find. Matt3479 says, so you want us to DM you if you think you're the arsehole? Yeah, no, I think I'll do it here. You're the arsehole. You kissed him without consent. Doesn't matter if you're pretty or not. Doesn't matter if you know him. Doesn't matter if he didn't object. Saying nothing is not consent. He did not consent. Bitter Nerdette says, you're the arsehole. Firstly, if you don't want public answers, don't post on a public popular forum. Secondly, if it was the other way around, you'll be screaming bloody murder. If he didn't say yes or move in for the kiss, you should not have kissed him. He has every right to reject you, doesn't matter how okay you look. If he isn't interested and hasn't consented to the kiss, you broke the basic rule. Get consent. If someone doesn't give you consent, they are saying no. It's more than a little bit obvious that when his sister said change the dare, that we knew damn well he wasn't going to like it. The fact you still did it after that is gross. He laughed because he was trying not to insult his sister's friend, while his sister was standing up for him. You're an arsehole for not checking consent after already getting a no from someone who knew him well enough to know. You're an arsehole for putting him on the spot. It doesn't matter what you look like, he has every right to be pissed. You're an arsehole because you think you can get around the subs rules by your little DM plea. And you're an arsehole for taking part in a game you don't have the emotional capabilities to know when to stop. And as a woman you should know the deal with consent, and that it goes both ways. I really hope your friend does see this. Her sticking up for her brother and throwing you out was brilliant behaviour. Seeing siblings stick up for each other is great. Edit. Thanks for the awards, everyone. So I'm going to turn this one to you guys now. Although I'm pretty sure I know where this one's going to go. Because, yeah, we just know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description. This story is from Flodo Mofo. Am I the arsehole for refusing to RSVP to my sister's wedding because I'm required to write an application essay just to attend? Yeah, I know this sounds insane, but I'm living in it. So my sister is getting married next February. Destination wedding no less. I have doubts whether this wedding is actually going to happen with the pandemic and everything, but she is totally set on moving forward. Anyways, because of the pandemic, her original venue has made her cut down on guests because they're cutting capacity by half. As a result, she's sending out re-invites that ask everyone to RSVP again. But in order to figure out who to invite and who to cut, she's asking all confirmed guests to submit two 250-word essays to 2 questions. The gist is that they use these essays to choose who can come or not, based on people's enthusiasm. People who don't write the essays at all will be automatically disqualified. I just feel really insulted by all this. The questions aren't even pandemic related. It's broad topics like, why do you still want to celebrate this day with us? And what will attending our wedding mean to you specifically? So she's blatantly looking for people to kiss ass and tell her why they really want to go. Anyways, I told her in advance I'm not writing 500 words on why I need to attend her wedding, spend my own money on plane tickets / hotels, and buy her a present. This has really rubbed her and my parents the wrong way. She says that to keep things fair, if I don't fill out the RSVP correctly, I won't be saved a spot. I said fine with me. Then my parents said if I don't show up, I'm going to be in big fucking trouble with all of our relatives, so just write the essays. Am I the arsehole if I stay stubborn on this? I'm already annoyed at the thought of spending $2,000 and coming home to quarantine, but I will not belt out 500 words on how this is totally my choice. Am I the arsehole? Edit, I'm 27 female, I don't live with my family, but she is my only sister. Edit 2, sister has framed these essays as surveys, but there's a word limit requirement, so if you don't reach it on the Google Forms, you can't even submit. Parents think this is perfectly reasonable, nice even, because sister is letting everyone have the chance to attend. I wish OP posted a link then to that so we could fill it out ourselves. Oh man, I think I feel exactly the same as you. I wouldn't fill out those essays just because to kiss ass to someone, hell no would I do that. Or just spam something along the lines of, because I'm hoping there's a free bar, over and over and over again. Not the arsehole in my opinion, but let's go down to the comments below to see what they're going to say. SC1293 says, not the arsehole. I would definitely send in 2 essays. The first one would say, Mum, Dad said I have to come or I'm in big trouble, over and over again until you hit 250. The second, I'm your sibling. Hamzy996 says, not the arsehole, and I hope no one writes the essay so she can see how ridiculous she's being. A name I can't pronounce replies to this saying, I wonder how is it that neither the sister, the fiance, nor the parents have realised that she's public humiliating them by being a lunatic. Unless everyone she knows took the same crazy pill she did, most people aren't going to write it, and she's going to be a laughingstock for the rest of time. Prinkley says, not the arsehole. Holy hell, this is a new one. Props to your sister for inventing a whole new way to be a lunatic. If they don't care enough to reserve you a spot, why would you want to celebrate a day with someone so selfish? I think they're going to get a hard dose of reality when people don't respond or meet their 500-word essay. How are you going to be in big trouble with your parents, assuming you're old enough to pay for the trip out of your pocket? There's not really anything they can do except be mad. Save your money and treat yourself to a nice trip somewhere that doesn't have crazy people. Wow, what a bunch of nuts. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description. This story is from Additional Pizza 805. Am I the arsehole for kicking my cousin off of my sister's wedding Zoom call? My 27 male, older sister 30 female, and her fiance 31 male were planning for over a year their wedding to be this month. Obviously they can't have their wedding as planned, but they still would like to get married, so they decided on a Zoom wedding where all the family / friends would just call in to watch the officiant, my sister and her fiance. My sister didn't want to be in charge of hosting the Zoom call because she thought it would stress her out, so she asked me to and I gladly accepted. She and her fiance decided to invite everyone they originally wanted to, and it was a very big list. When we're going over the list, my sister mentioned to me that she wanted everyone to be muted for the majority of the wedding, as she was worried that others would talk over her and her fiance and quote, overshadow them on their big day that was already scaled down. However, her and her fiance said that I should unmute everyone at one point so everyone could talk and have a nice time with each other. Fast forward to the day of the wedding. Everyone is muted during the ceremony, which goes great, and so I then unmute everyone and ask to please raise a hand if they'd like to talk so it doesn't get confusing. My cousin, around my age, starts waving his hands crazily, and he's with his longtime girlfriend, also similar age I guess. He's a very gregarious guy, so I was not surprised. Then he says stuff like, my sister and her husband are such an inspiration, it's given me the courage to do this. Then turns to his girlfriend and pulls out a box that is the size of an engagement ring box. I immediately saw this as him trying to steal the spotlight, something that he's done since we're kids. Example, he would secretly mess up my sister and I's drawings if the adults would praise ours, and booted him off the call. Then I quickly announced that my cousin had technical difficulties and would not be joining again. Everyone else accepted this and went about talking, and my sister and her husband did too. The rest of the wedding went smoothly, except for the fact my cousin kept texting me angrily, saying that he finally wanted to propose as a surprise with family all around, and I ruined it. My aunt and uncle texted me the same. Am I the arsehole? Hell no, you can't do that at someone else's wedding on a Zoom call of all things. Wow man. You're just like some sort of superhero to even see that and quickly kick them off. Absolutely amazing. Not the arsehole. You saved a very embarrassing situation for everyone to have to watch. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what we can find. Georgie Foreman says, I think you have a calling. In charge of the United States War Room. Not the arsehole. Great save. Dr. Zeus's grandchild says, not the arsehole, thank God you did that. Your cousin has issues. Who would propose at another person's wedding? That's a definition of overshadowing that your sis didn't want. If I were your sister, I wouldn't even know how to thank you. Cult Queen says, not the arsehole, good on you for looking out for your sister. Your cousin is an attention whore that deserves to be kicked out. So inappropriate to take away from your sister's big day, especially since it's already small since the pandemic. Despicable, your cousin needs to grow up. Poodle Kitten says, not the arsehole, that's probably the best unintended outcome of the wedding being virtual. Imagine if it had been in person, you'd have had to tackle his dumb ass, lol, good for you. I'm sure it's annoying that you have to deal with this text and those obviously biased parents, but just be thankful you're not posting on here. Am I the arsehole for not stopping my cousin's proposal at my sister's wedding? Now that would have been an interesting one too. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. And our next story is from Salt Understanding 7. Am I the arsehole for throwing out my mum after she threw out my weed? Throw away in case someone I know sees this, don't want them to know my main Reddit account. So I'm a 30-year-old man. I'm single and live alone in a house that I own. A few months ago you know what happened and my mum lost her job, so I decided to let her stay with me. I have a medical marijuana card and smoke every day. I knew my mum disliked weed, so I warned her before she moved in that I'd be smoking weed daily and would not stop for her. She agreed and only asked that I smoke outside, which I thought was a relatively reasonable request. Weed has a strong smell and many people don't like it. At first, this worked out fine, but she started making remarks about how I should quit, etc. I mostly just ignored them / brushed them off. Then it evolved into her demanding that I quit. As if I were still a child, she could issue orders to. I refused and told her that she can move out if she doesn't like it. She started crying, saying that I don't love her, I have a problem, etc. The next day, I come home from work to find her waiting for me. She explained that she had flushed my weed, a little less than an ounce, for my own good, and then demanded that I go to treatment. Well, predictably, I was furious, and not even really about not having the weed anymore. It's pretty cheap, I usually buy ounces for $125, and I can easily get more. It was about a total lack of respect for me. I'm an adult, own my own house, have a good job, and have approval from the state to legally purchase and possess marijuana. So someone I'm doing a huge favour for, demanding that I stop and throwing out my stuff when I refused is extremely outrageous to me, no matter if she pushed me out of her vagina 30 years ago. Anyway, we argued about this for a while and it became clear to me that she was not sorry at all, and she would probably do it again. So I told her she can't live with me anymore. I gave a month, but she had already packed all her shit and drove to my brother's house a couple of hours away. She obviously thinks I'm a huge arsehole, so does my brother, but I think that's mostly because she is his problem now. Here we go. I'm not a weed smoker, so I don't know too much, but I'm not someone that judges someone for smoking weed. You know, if they want to do that, they go ahead and do that. I drink, so people don't judge me for that, mostly. So I'm not going to judge anyone else for that kind of what they want to do, you know. But just for the pure fact that she took your property, just your property, not weed or irrelevant, whatever it is, and she flushed it away, takes the piss. And I can't blame you for wanting to kick her out and all that kind of thing. But we're going to go straight down to the comments below for this one to see what we can find. Gangster Napper says, not the arsehole, it wouldn't even matter if you smoke purely recreationally. You're an adult, you have your own home and your own life. Her approval isn't necessary. It sounds like she might have been trying to overparent you because moving in with you upset the power dynamic you're used to. Good job setting the boundary and enforcing it. Ashley WK411 says, not the arsehole, your house, your rules. If she can't follow the rules, she's gotta go. Good for you for setting boundaries. Rain Hatter says, not the arsehole, that's medical, no different than pills people have to take every day, and is often a less addictive alternative to harsh medication. Sounds like she doesn't take your medical health seriously and has zero respect for you as an adult in your own house who lent her a hand in trying times. Disney Sub Slut says, not the arsehole, some parents truly don't understand that they can't dictate their adult children's lives and it's hard. Your family will probably treat you like you're the arsehole, but just know that you're not. And I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description. Anyway guys, once again, thank you for being here today. You are truly appreciated as always, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love to you. Goodbye.